Hello, in this session, this is part of the health and safety course, we're looking at policies and procedures. So I'm going to explain what they are, I'm going to explain why you should follow them and what happens if you don't follow them. Now, usually when we start work, the employer gives us access to their policies and procedures. Sometimes they're in paper format, and what we do, because it's human nature, is we look at the contract of employment, we scan over that for about 3 seconds, and then we sign it. The only thing we're really checking for is payment and holidays. That's all we check. Now, with regard to all these other policies and procedures, we scan over them and sign them, we scan over the rest of them and sign them, and then we give them all in because we're keen to start work. There you go, employer. But the thing to remember is that when you put your signature on these policies and procedures, you're actually saying 3 things. 1, I've had them. 2, I've read them. And 3, I actually agree to them all. So that's what you're saying when you put your signature on these policies and procedures. Now, when we go to work, we tend to try and follow policies and procedures. And what I mean by that is we try and do what we're supposed to do. We make sure that we've read the policies and procedures. We make sure that we've completed the training. Make sure that we're not putting ourselves at risk, that we're wearing the correct equipment if necessary, and we're reporting any accidents in the accident book. We are working safe and doing whatever we need to do in order to stay away from trouble and follow the procedures. So that's what should happen. Now, if you work like this, is it possible that you can still get injured at work? And the answer, of course, is yes, because things happen in life. So let's look at what happens if you get injured at work whilst you're working safe and following all the policies and procedures. You go to your doctor. The doctor says to you, you've damaged your back or whatever, but you're going to be off work long term. You're going to need some help. So you then approach your company and you say, hey, I've been injured at work. They'll say, look, we have insurance. You'll need to go and get yourself an injury lawyer. So you go and find yourself an injury lawyer. Your injury lawyer will take your case and they will approach your company's insurance policy, your employer's insurance company here. And they will say, our client, which is you, has been injured in your client's place of work, and we are looking for that. Why are you going to need that money? Well, you're going to need that money because now you can't work. You might be off work for a year or 2 years. It's going to completely change your life. It's going to affect you financially. It's going to affect you in your family, in the things that you like to do. It might even affect your mental health. But that's going to cause a drastic change to you. And that is why you need that financial support to keep you going. Now, when your injury lawyer approaches the insurance company and asks them for this, the insurance company don't just automatically say, okay, we'll pay out the money. Oh no. What they do is they try and find ways to not pay the money. So they may start doing this. Was your client fully trained? Yes, they were, says your lawyer. Were they following the policies and procedures? Yes, they were. Were they wearing the right equipment? Yes, they were, says your injury lawyer. Were they putting themselves at risk? No, they were working in a safe way. And was all this reported in the accident book? Yes, it's all been reported. Everything's done correct. In which case, the insurance company has to say, okay, fair enough, that's a payout. And then your injury lawyer and the insurance company haggle it out to come up with this. So that's what happens if you're working safe, following all the policies and doing the job right. Now let's have a look at what happens if you're not doing the job right. Some people, what they choose to do is they choose to work outside the circle for various reasons. One of those reasons is They never read the policies in the first place. They just signed them and went to work. So they don't know whether they're following the policies or not. Sometimes they're taking shortcuts. Sometimes they might just be lazy. Sometimes they don't see the reason why these policies are in place, so they don't bother with them. But whatever, you've walked outside the circle. This is called volunteering. You voluntarily have put yourself in danger. Other reasons why people work away from these policies is because of this, pressure. Now, when you go to work, you may find that you receive pressure from young people, for example, to do the job the wrong way. Well, they're just interested maybe in cutting corners or getting what they want. But if you take the advice of a young person and step outside this safe circle to do your job, and then you get badly injured and you're off work long term, is this young person going to come and support you by offering to pay you their allowances until you're back on your feet? The answer is no. They don't care, because another support worker will turn up in your place, and so that's why we don't follow the advice of young people who are asking us to do things outside the policy. Other pressure may come from other members of staff or your colleagues. Now they say, look, we don't bother with all that stuff we do in training. We just do the job like this. We cut corners. You can do the same, yada, yada, yada. I've been doing the job for years. Nothing's ever gone wrong. Well, that's all fine and good. You take their advice and then something goes wrong. Then you find yourself here and now you're in a bad place. You can't claim any money because the insurance company are saying, was this person fully trained? Yes, they were. Were they following the policies? No, they weren't. Well, if they weren't following the policies, well, in that case, we're not liable and we're not paying out any money. More pressure could come from your boss, who's asking you to do things that are not right. Maybe they're under pressure, maybe they're in a rush. And what we do there, the way we handle that is, you are saying to your boss, listen boss, you're asking me to do this, but it's clearly not safe. In fact, it says so in your policies and procedures. So surely you're not asking me to go against your own policies and procedures, are you? Surely there's another way around this, which means we can work safe and not put anybody at risk. So that's how you handle dealing with pressure from your boss, who's maybe trying to get you to do something that's outside of the policies and procedures. Do not yield to pressure. If you yield to pressure to work in an unsafe way and you end up doing this, the insurance company will not pay out any money, because they will be asking, had they done the training? Were they working in a safe way? And if the answer to any of these questions is no, well, the insurance company is let off the hook. So make sure that you work safe, make sure you follow the policies all the time, and make sure you keep yourself safe and the young people that you're looking after and your colleagues safe by following the policies. Get access to and read the policies. They'll either be in paper format or they'll be in electronic format, or you can perhaps have them emailed to your private email address so that you can take some time and read through the policies before you start work. So that's how we stay safe, using policies and procedures.